Hey there, part-timers. Once again, this is Anton from Anton Bay. Thank you guys for stopping by the collection room. Today I'm taking a look at a comic lot that I just purchased. It is a full set, which is how I've been buying them lately. And this one, in honor of the quarter bin era. This one was definitely the most I have spent on one. That said, this is a series that when I sold it, because I used to have it, obviously, it hurt to sell. It really bugged me to sell the series. I was going through a divorce, 4 years ago or so, and it was very, very hard to sell this series. And some of my series and some of my comics I sold were easy. Some of them I missed, but this series was hard to sell, and I regretted it basically the day I did it. But hard times call for drastic measures. So the series is Dazzler. Now, Dazzler is a comic that I got very frequently out of quarter bins, and I tried to build the series. I was never able to complete it entirely from a quarter bin. And it was one that I originally passed on many times because it just looked not like something I wanted. And when I did finally get it and start reading it and appreciating it and seeing who all the cast and all the crossover characters were, I started to really, really like it and respect it. The disco part, considering this was an 80s book, seemed a little out of tune for me. But that said, it was a series that I had to get, and so I just bought a full set, and shocked me at how much it has increased in price since I sold mine. I can't remember exactly what I sold mine for, but I'm pretty sure I had to pay almost twice that to get it back. And that's pretty rough, considering I would have had the whole series probably acquired for something like $12 originally. Through quarter bins, different sets. Comic shops I used to go to would dig through their own quarter bins, pull out series and build complete sets, bundle them up and sell them for little to nothing. I was able to purchase the entire Nick Fury and his Howling Commandos, the 80s series, for I think $15. They just put it all in a bundle and sold it. And I'm pretty sure that's how I ended up finally completing Dazzler. Dazzler was a set that I'm almost positive we pieced through for years, and then finally just bought the full set. I love the covers. I've already come to realize, maybe with hindsight, that this era of Marvel and this era of comics in general is my favorite era. Stuff from the 90s was okay, and I liked it very much. And these are from 81, the year I was born. And up to the late 90s was good. 2000s, I am just not into anything after that, really. Very few companies produce anything I'm interested in post 2000. And then you get back to old, and books get too expensive for me to buy. Too much from the 70s is pretty much out of my price range. I don't feel like spending 5 to 10 on a book per book. That said, I am definitely going to try and track down a full 1 through 50 of Spider-Woman. That is one comic that I used to have that that's a 70s title that I really want back. But Dazzler itself, I mean, you could see the covers here. Some of these side quests or guests and things that she was doing. It's just fantastic. It just looks so perfectly cheesy for the time. Issue 13 here. This series ran 42 issues, which seems ridiculous today, but that was pretty easy to attain back then at 60 cents an issue. People were still wanting this stuff. And these books fall right in the same category as other comics like The Thing in his own individual series, Cloak and Dagger in their own individual series, running around doing their own thing. Kazar got his own series around the same time. That's more of a barbarian title, but it doesn't matter. It's the same premise. You've got characters from other books like Avengers Spotlight and Solo Avengers. Books where you take a character from a big main book and ran them on their own title, and you were not really sticking to the main Marvel universe. You could get off in the weeds, and you could introduce characters, you could bump characters off. All this stuff could happen, and it was okay because it wasn't touching an X-Men book, and it wasn't touching an Avengers book, and you could just kind of do what you want. New Warriors was another title that did this. Speedball was another title. He was a branch off from New Warriors. Night Thrasher, Starhawk, or Darkhawk. Just really bizarre that you could have these branch off titles, and your writing rules were fast and loose in them. You could do so much more. This is one of the cool photo covers. Pretty cool. Dazzler, the series, does have one distinction. It possesses, in its run, one of my top 5 favorite comic book covers of all time. And we're getting there. There's issue 23. A couple issues back, you can see that was Rogue on the cover. This was when Rogue was still a villain. She's still in her disco uniform, which I never really cared for. I did like her other uniform better. Her Farrah Fawcett hair was kind of not my thing, but I thought it was still, these are absolutely gorgeous covers. That is a gorgeous cover. I mean, it's just amazing. New Mutants and a couple other books went through a phase where they did titles and covers that look like this kind of weird faded painting type look, and I adore it. It is fantastic. Look at this. Look at that cover. That is absolutely gorgeous. It's so 80s and so perfect, but it's not my favorite. My favorite, one of my top 5 comic book covers of all time is Dazzler number 29, Sounds of Light and Fury. And this was my favorite cover. It is a photo cover that's a real hand. It's a real album. It breaks a fourth wall in a way that a lot of stuff doesn't. It puts realness into the universe. And the fact that this actually made an appearance in an X-Men movie, I think it was Days of Future Past, Scott pulls out an album of Dazzler, Sounds of Light and Fury. And I just loved that. I was like, oh my gosh, that was the whole reason I watched the movie, was just for that. Because it showed one of my favorite comic book covers of all time. I may not be cool to everybody else, but as a big music fan and as somebody who collects tons of music and used to have mountains of digital media and like CDs and albums and records stored like that, physical media, I mean, this was just a really cool crossover to me as far as that goes. It's awesome. Anyway, issue number 30, you keep up with the same kind of weird painted, bleak looking covers. And like I said, New Mutants did this for a while as well, and I really enjoyed those covers as well. They are some of the best covers of the 80s in my opinion. This is another pretty good one. One that I think knocks it out of the park for pop culture crossover stuff is the Chiller cover. I mean, look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. I mean, it's clearly a Thriller homage, but it's just in the context of a pop star comic book, or a comic book about a pop star. It just works. I don't think I could talk about my appreciation for Dazzler and the books without giving a little nod to my appreciation for Gem. Sorry. If you guys ever watched Gem and the Holograms, the cartoon, not the crappy movie, but Gem and the Holograms, fantastic children's cartoon. You got the Misfits. One of the most evil, like they're burning kids, and they burn an orphanage down, and they're always trying to kill people, and they run people off the road. There's some heavy stuff in Gem and the Holograms. But I always loved that show when I was little, and for some reason, my brain draws a correlation to pop star superheroes, lots of cool lights and flashing sounds, like gem and holograms. I see that with Dazzler, and it's just one of those things that in my brain always connects. Here we are switching from her disco outfit to her more modern outfit, which I like better, and I still have this particular Dazzler figure. It's my favorite of the Dazzler figures. I used to have the Marvel Legends with the disco outfit, and it was just not really my thing. And the original, that was the one I wanted to keep. And so, as I mentioned when I sold a lot of things earlier, I did sell that one Disco Dazzler figure, which is quite expensive now. But I did keep my blue uniform Dazzler, which was probably not the right choice, but it's what I did. Anyway, this is a series that I'm super happy to have back. And when I got it back, I was literally thrilled. And I remember this phrase, "Because you demanded it," the last issue of Dazzler. I thought that was like a screw you, fans. You hate this book? Fine, we'll kill it. Kind of the same thing they did on the last issue of the Sensational She-Hulk, issue 60. We had a deal, kids, and she rips up their magazines. This set also came with a mini-series, and it was a mini-series I also used to have, but I know I sold. It's Beauty and the Beast. It is Dazzler and Beast in their own mini-series, and it came with this set, which I was pretty excited about just because I'm like, well, that just completes that, and that adds just a little bit more value to the purchase that I made. This purchase, like I said, these were more expensive than I wanted to pay for them. But I was very lucky to be able to purchase it predominantly with revenue I make from making YouTube videos. You guys know my channel is monetized. I have celebrated it every time. So far, I think I'd have to look. It's something like $500 or $600 in perpetuity is the total amount that I have made. I think it might just be about $550 at this point, somewhere in there. But anyway, usually about every 3 months, 4 months, I'll get about $100. And that's been going on for a year or so. Anyway, just full transparency. That is where the money for these came from. And I am grateful to you guys for watching. In some ways, you guys made it able for me to get these just by giving me some clicks, some watch time, watching my videos. I greatly appreciate it. So I am able to reclaim a piece of my collection that I didn't want to let go, and I got it back, and I'm very happy about it, and I appreciate it because I feel like you guys helped me get it. So thank you. All right, part-timers, that's all I got to say. Thank you. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.